All right, welcome back. We're going to do some quick tests. The first is that I want to see that if we're on a different board than the first board and we disconnect and reconnect, if in fact it's drawing the next board correctly. So here we can start an open play game. We need a loading screen there. Okay, we're going to need to go to a next board, so I'll just play these pieces as fast as I can. Again, I have latency because of the SQL server that I'm using at the moment. Okay, see how we have 2 and 1. Two lines. One of these should be rejected. It is. Almost done. Hey, we should go on to the next board now. There it is. And now what we're going to do is we're going to try to resume that game. Okay, no worries of fallen hope. Enjoy that laundry. So you can see here it's reconnecting. Now it's failing because here it's not able to create my tiers and gems. So let's find out what's going on. We're going to attach this to Unity here, if it's going to let me. That is not a good sign. Let me kill the back end for a second. Oh, that's not good. So I guess we're going to do some old school debugging here real quick. If my tier color chance is not equal to null, then we're going to do a debug.log tier color chance is null. Okay, so let's see where this is failing. That's a real bummer. Okay. We're going to start the back end. Okay, backend's running. You reconnect. We've connected. It should reconnect me to my current game. Color chance DTO is null. This one. So we need to look at this. So we want to do a debug.log JSON convert dot. This DTO is get sets, right? Yeah, so we got to use the JSON convert dot serialize object board dot tier color chances board single players. Give it another run. Okay, so everything is here. Let's look at what this object looks like. And take this over into a JSON beautifier. All right, so here I've got my 6 types. I've got a board. I've got my color chances, my tier color chance type. I don't know what that is. Oh, yes, I do. It's round or board. And then the tier ID. So everything looks fine. That's coming in from the server. Okay, so I also want to get my instance ID. And I think I know what the problem is now. So the board matches. Your color chance SOID I'm going to open this up again here because this is a different object, but it should be the same. Let me see what's different. No, it's the same. Okay, so that's right. So then back over in the code, we want to get our color chance ID. Oh. You don't know this color chance ID yet. So let me look at the round. This is the problem. Because this this is the one with the VMs. You're getting it from the round SOID. So this needs to have a different color chance because you want to do a this is a round SOID. So you also want to do these again, except this is going to include a board ID. because this is going to be your instance, and then you want to do ID because you want to set the board SOID here, or just the board ID. That's definitely what is going on with the screen. Okay. So you have a round that these are associated with, not the board. Which means that when you create it over here, if I was to do another test here, and I do a debug.log, and I want to do it for, come on, this, and I want to get my count, even without this match. And now we're going to run it again. Welcome back, Fallen Hope. Missed you, buddy. Says it's only one. So that will work, which means that we can cut out this and then this one. Let's try it now. I think it's fixed. Tried to watch on my phone, but the battery's down. And someone decided to talk to me in the laundry room despite me trying to act like I was busy. Oh yeah, that's always super fun. Neepers. All right. Now it's saying that my grid I want to say, or my grid is equal to null. Laundry day, eh? No, I'm down here to pick up the ladies. What do you think? Reconnecting. It worked. And it brought me back up to the correct board. And the game picks up. Now the scores are not accurate. So that's our next piece to fix. So let me jump in here. Say Gem Wars 28, time is 10 minutes, comment is corrected. Board sizes when above level 1 and reconnecting. And we'll push that out. Okay, so the next thing are scores. So let me take a look on the back end to see where scores are being held. If I look at my business logic layer for match player, it's an aggregate of everything. So everything is being handled on the server. So when we request a game player, I'm going to need to have a new DTO on here. And I'm going to call these score DTOs. And I'm going to say that this is a new score DTO. And it'll be a public enum score type. And you're going to have points or you're going to have gems. I don't want it abstract because I'm going to deserialize it on the client. And we'll move this over to my enums class. Okay. The next one that I want to have is a score points DTO. The other thing you want to have on here is a GUID for the, no, not yet. So points are on a game player ID. Score gem DTO. And this is going to have a quantity and a gem type. And that's it. Okay, so now when I request an instance of my let's look at the game. I've got these game player VMs, which are going to have a collection of my Core DTO. Now we're going to look for everywhere where this is being handled. We've got a few references in here. This is the first one, Core DTOs. Now this is a BLL. So I want to say Core DTOs equals a new list of Core DTO. Now, the difference is on this Core DTO, Gems is going to have a GUID for my game player ID. And on points, it's going to be a match player ID. So if I look at my game player dot get number gems, that's of a gem type. So we're going to do a for loop, which goes to my enum dot get names of my type of gem type. And we want to get the length. And now I can get my gem quantity, which is going to be equal to my gem type of I. And then we're going to do a Core DTOs dot add a new Core DTO, which is going to be my ID is a GUID.new GUID. Object type is a Core DTO. And my Core type is going to be a gems. So this is actually a Core gem DTO. Just filling out the object here. And this is my gameplayer.gameplayerDTO.id. Score gem DTOs. Like that. Okay, that's one. The next place is here. Okay, the next one is here. Okay, these ones you need to calculate it. Or you know that all of these are 0. So that's fine. And then this is the last one here, which is also fine. Okay, let's go ahead and rebuild. The other place that you have them was on your score match player. Which you currently have here as DTOs. So the first thing we need to do is we need to add in here a match player instance, just match player VM, which is going to be a public class, which is a base VM. And then I want this to have on it a match player instance DTO. And then we also want to have on here the score points DTO called the score points. So in my match generic, this is now a match player VM. Now we trace the errors. Okay, here's the first one. Let's start by unloading the Unity project for a minute. So this is matchplayers.matchPlayerInstanceDTO, which you're just going to call matchPlayerDTO. So now this match multiplayer, this needs to be match player VMs. So this needs to be match player VM. Match player VM. Like that. Oh, never mind. This is the right one, and then we need to map this to a match player VM here. Like that, and then we're going to do a new one of these, and we're going to say my ID is a GUID.new GUID. My match player DTO is match player DTO. My score points is a new one of these. Which is going to be a GUID.new GUID. Match player ID is match player DTO.ID. The object type is a score. The score type is a points. And that's it. And my VM type here is a match player. Just add these in where we need it. So what you're going to do now is you're going to change your match player DTO to be a match player VM. Okay, create board single player. This is match player VM. That looks right. This one, match player VM. Perfect. Okay, we need to go change these instances now in the interface. This is match player VM. Perfect. Action match over VM. We're going to change this one to be match player VM. And that's being, we'll deal with that on the client side in a little bit. Okay, rebuild it. Okay, that worked. Now we're going to reload all of my Unity projects. Now, these things all changed here because this is match player DTO. Cool. And now this is saying that my match player has an init here, which is a match player VM. And now I want to say I have a new score points DTO called score points. And then we can say my score points is equal to my match player dot score points. Otherwise, my score points is a new score point DTO, which is a GUID.newGUID. Match player ID is instance ID.toString. Object type is a score. Score type is a points. And we don't need the timestamp. We're going to add down here a public score points DTO called score points. Like that. And also on my game player, you want this to be a game player VM. Because then you can have a collection here of score gem type, and this will be better if it was a dictionary of type gem type, and a integer for the number of points. Score gems equals a new dictionary of gem type integer. So now for each item in my game player VM dot score gem DTOs, which we're going to call score gems, and then on the match player we want to call those score points. The only thing I want to do here is do a score gems if my you want to do a for I goes to my enum.get names of a type of gem type dot length. I want to do a score gems of my gem type of I is equal to 0. And so now I can just do a score gems of score gem dot gem type is equal to my score gems dot equal to my score gem dot quantity. And then here you can say get number of gems, and we're going to change this out here. And we also want to do the same thing on match player. Okay, before I forget, we have a big change we need to make in the BLLs where we're converting these back and forth. Over here, when we create my match players here, this is including their scores. So for example, when I look at my generic, where we are playing this piece, I want to say that my match player board dot match player dot score points I have to think about this a little bit because the score points are on the view model. The view model is what's being held the whole time, but I don't want to store that. I want to calculate that view model. So if I look at my models here for my match player BLL, we're going to change this one back to match player instance DTO. I really want to include a convert to VM here. So you want to have a public virtual match player VM convert to VM. Like this. Your score points here are number of points. And then my VM type here is a match player. You want to do this as an integer, as a math dot ceiling of my number of points. Why don't I see quantity? Okay, if you look at game player, here you want to have a public virtual void convert to VM. And this is going to be a game player VM. And here you can say return new game player VM, which is going to pass in my game player. My ID. Score gems, VM type is game player, and your drawer responses. So score gems is new, so let's write that. like this. And now I want to do for each var, oh no, it's a for I goes to my enum.get names of a type of gem type.length. We're going to do a score gems.add a new one of these, which is my game player ID equals my game player DTO.id. My gem type is my gem type of I. My object type is a gem instance. Sorry, it's a score instance. My quantity is a get number of gems of my gem type of I. My score type is a gems. My ID is a GUID.newGUID. Okay, so now if I look at my game manager single player, where we're doing this conversion, because I want to get all of the game players. Okay. So now we can get rid of all of this stuff here, because we can just do a game player dot convert to VM. And we can do the same thing here. Like that. Okay. That's okay. And then we have another one up here, almost done actually. that. Got another one over here. And another one here. And this one is the last one. And now we'll rebuild it. All right. So now we give it a run. I want to look at when I get my request game. Pardon me. Sorry. Where you are requesting your game. That's what I want to see. Now, this is coming from the back end. So this is a new game. The other way is that when you connect over TCP, shit. Here. This is now called add existing game from Mongo. Hey there, Crystallizes. How are you doing? New chair. I've had this chair for quite a while. Welcome back. It's good to have you with us. Okay. And we set the game. And then we send it to the players, this converted game to BLL. That's what I want to see. Give it a run. Are those Unity icons? What are you talking about? Which ones? In the game that I'm working on? No, everything we created here on stream. Give it an open play. What? Easy enough. And easy enough. Let's just rerun it. Oh, on your chair. No, the chair is a blanket that my wife made for me. It's a rainbow blanket. It's crocheted. Ah, the blanket is new. Yeah, it's been there for a little bit. Maybe just not able to see it in the monitor. Or maybe I just don't stream enough. Okay, all that's done. Go ahead and reconnect to the game. I know, my schedule's getting kind of wild right now. I apologize about that. I'm trying to get as much time as I can on air. We've been going for 4 hours today. Okay, let's do a open play. I need a loading screen. Now, in my game player, it's trying to create these score gems. Don't you have a convert to VM in here? And so here we want to say if my game player VM dot score gems does not equal to null. Now, why would that equal to null? If we look at the back end, when we are connecting to an existing game here, that's because we do want to have this like that. Okay, let's try it again. Are you participating in the Hacktoberfest? No, I haven't even heard about that. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Hey, reconnecting to the current game. Here it is. If I look at test, when I look at my game player responses, I have a number of score gems, one for each of them. And then if I look at my rounds, match sets, matches, match players, score point DTOs, there is one. Your game player local is wrong now. I don't understand. It's an event taking place in October where everyone in the world can contribute to open source. Everyone who does 3 pull requests gets a t-shirt. That sounds cool. Interesting. That's very interesting. So in Base Game Manager Online, it said that it couldn't find my match. Which is odd. But I've been going for quite a while today. I'm going to close up, and I'll be back in the morning. We're going to try to start at 5:30 a.m. If not, it'll be around 8. That's Pacific Standard Time. So if you have any questions, make sure you put them into our Discord, discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. I put all these videos up at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. I'll post the links to those in just a second. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.